Pretentiousness? Is
No,
that
it is
pretentious in itself? I don't think it
I don't
is.
know. Maybe it is. Okay,
I
so we're
just
recording.
can't do it. I just can't. It makes me like not enjoy wine or people.
I remember one time I was in a tasting room, I think, with John. No, it was Cameron Freeze. And there was some really stuffy bastard in there.
What the hell do you know about being a bastard? Did I offend you? Sorry.
And I can't remember what I said. We were talking about what we were tasting, and he got really snooty about something, and I went after him for it a little bit just for fun. And then he got pissed off, and then that pissed me off. And then I was about ready to let him have it with some, very choice words. And then Cameron jumped in the middle of us and totally diffused it with just his master communication style that he's so brilliant at, But yeah, the long story short, the pretension, the stuffiness. This guy looked like he was a Scruffy University professor, which there's nothing wrong with Scruffy University professors. We like them, but he was a bit much.
Yeah, come on. We're all trying to have fun, not
exactly. So we should probably talk about the wine.
Super stoked.
Right. This is a Castro di San. You need to say it better than I do.
Castro di San Silvestro.
Yeah.
I think it's named after Sylvester the cat.
Oh, well, it's
possibly.
Funny story about this. The reason that we're tasting this wine today is because, go on.
Let's do it.
Because Matt invited me to a private tasting with the one of the representatives from Small Vineyards, which is the importer for this. And this is a Montepulciano grape, which basically means that I love it. And you'll see some video here that I'm going to put up. But basically, I tried this, and it blew my mind.
So this had all the sexiness, and this has all the brawn and like tannin.
It's a bigger wine, and then it's again, same thing, it's fermented in concrete, phenolatic in concrete.
He's gonna. You have to take a break.
Yeah,
he's gonna take a break. He's gonna take a break.
Okay, I'm sorry. That is a fabulous one. God damn.
This is a specific French term.
Yes.
Pardon his French. Oh my gosh. Darn it.
So he managed to lay on a couple more bottles, and I wanted to taste it again to see if I still liked it as much. But so this is a little bit different. This is just a wine tasting. We're not talking about food, although we are going to make some duck later, and that will be the next video.
And that's honestly the reason I'm here.
Yeah. I had to bribe him with food.
I'm going to experiment with duck breast. It's like, I'm in. See you at noon.
So it's a wine tasting today on Barbell Cooking. So we're going to pour this out, give it a shot. Now, we know this is a Montepulciano. Montepulciano? Am I saying that right?
Montepulciano.
Montepulciano.
It helps if you do the whole...
It is...
Montepulciano. It just helps.
Yeah, okay.
It's a thing.
It's from La Marche, which is in the eastern part of Italy, just next to the Apennine Mountains and next to the Adriatic Sea, I think, if I remember. I'll put a map up there so you can see.
Yeah.
And
oh, man.
Let's see if we'll just get right in it and taste it. We'll see if this is
No,
as
seriously
good as I
though,
remember.
even just the smells, I can see why you freaked out on it.
We
waited 6 months or so since the time you tasted it, because that was a pre-sell.
Yeah, to get a hold of it.
So I invited you to a pre-sell. What happens in a pre-sell, especially from this company called Small Vineyards or August Wine Group, they source small mom and pop wines from Italy and other places of the world, but mainly Italy. And they do what's called a pre-buy or a pre-sell. Mm-hmm. And so Antonio, who you met, and we'll probably see him on a video cut in here.
Yeah.
He is a salesman and a winemaker. And so he makes appointments all around Spokane where we live. And part of that pre-sell is you have a list of the wines. He opens probably 12 to 13 wines, which is too many in one setting. But come on.
It gets muted after a while, though.
How many is too many?
Yeah.
So this one, this
My waistline
particular...
tells me.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, this particular wine was right in the middle, which is the sweet spot for enjoying wine. So I'm curious to see if you like it as much as you did, because knowing that it was a pre-sale opportunity, we tasted several white wines and some pink wines, and then we got to this little gem.
You can already see, look, it's got legs.
Boy, it already smells like I love it already.
Oh, here. Salud.
Salud. Oh, man. One thing I've learned in the wine business, and it's not to be pretentious, is the pinky.
That's good.
Are you loving it?
Yeah, I'm liking it.
I want to check the pinky check. Oh, you're tucked in.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so in order to not be so pretentious, I use my pinky right here towards the rim of the glass,
Oh,
and it
instead-
kind of
instead of
adds a
going
little.
up like this.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I can't do that.
I
I don't shame people that do, but I just can't do it.
Hang tight just a sec. I've got.
I already got him. I already shamed him. He's out.
We also have these, which is what Italians tend to drink wine out of more often, is small cups like this. These look like shot glasses, but they're actually made for wine. So
Let's do it.
yeah,
Let's do wine shots. Or I mean,
wine shots.
taste the Italian traditional way.
Yeah.
I'll pour for you. So if you noticed, I poured myself first and then you. Mm-hmm. And that's sort of like the king's taster. Like if there was something wrong with the wine, the king's taster or the host will taste and approve a wine. Like it's a formality from the medieval times.
You got to make sure it wasn't poisoned.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
sign of trust too.
Yeah.
It was like, let's have dinner. Let's drink wine. I'll pour it in the glass and drink it first. And then if I die, well, then you know I was kind of pulling a fast one on you.
Or you built up a resistance to iocane powder.
Inconceivable.
It's 100% Montepulciano. Why does that matter?
Oh. Why does 100% matter? Or
No, the Montepulciano. I mean, what is it about that grape that I seem to be a sucker for it? That's any wine that I've ever had that's a Montepulciano is usually an easy sell for me. Now, this stuff is $16 a bottle about last time I looked online. So for me personally, it's not an everyday wine. I'm not going to drink this every day because the price is just a bit steep. But at a good dinner, something you make on the weekend, something you want to give to friends, yeah.
you love it.
Oh, yes.
Why shouldn't you drink something you love every day? Shameless, I know.
No.
I sell wine for a
Hedonism
living.
rules fine here.
So wine for a
Yeah.
living. I had to throw that out there. I couldn't
Yes.
help myself. But so, did you notice a difference of the taste in the official fancy wine glass versus the traditional shot glass
That
from
seems a
Italy?
little more mellow, actually.
It does. I think it's
Yeah.
because we're not getting the smells.
Right.
I mean, think about like
because of the way that this is shaped.
even like look where my nose is.
Yeah.
Is this pretentious? Can I do that?
Sure.
All right. I don't want to kick my
give a-
ass or
yeah, I
something.
don't
You know,
give a
like
shit,
this
no.
guy, pretentious wine guy. Invited him to my house and he's talking about his nose position.
I will say that is a pet peeve of mine, though.
Oh, God,
Like
that's
whenever I see like a wine person like advertising themselves, they always have a glass and they have their nose stuck in it.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. It's so freaking stupid. But yeah, Montepulciano, I just seem to be a sucker for it. It's a great grape. I love Italian wines better than French wines, I think, and maybe that shows my lack of sophistication or palate. I don't really give a shit.
So you asked, why does it matter?
Yeah.
It's a humbler grape. And from the Abruzzo region, or actually, I'm sorry, from the Marche region, where this is coming from, it's grown all over the Adriatic side of Italy. It is a humble workhorse table grape. It's not as fancy as Sangiovese from Tuscany or Brunello from Tuscany, which is Sangiovese.
Or a Pinot Noir from Oregon.
Or an Oregon Pinot Noir for $60. No, this is an everyday kind of person's drink.
Yeah.
And I think that's why you love it, because it has no pretentious. You can't make Montepulciano pretentious. I don't think, I mean,
The interesting thing
I've
of
never
the
seen it.
flavor of it right now is compared to like, I remember when I had it before, it hit me more like a bomb. And probably because it was in the middle of all those other really strong wines. This is still
Yeah.
really, really good. And I'm getting the same, flavor profile and all that. And I really enjoy it. It's you didn't see me just like freak out and get up and walk off, like I did that last time, because I was just so astounded at how good it was.
You still have that
what
video?
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm gonna cut it into this. But yeah, when I took a shot of that, you can see it in my face, and I'll zoom in on it. I was on my internal dialogue was like, holy Jesus, what is this? It was so good.
yeah.
Yeah, and the other ones that he served were really, really good, but this was the standout for me. That's the one that really, in my brain, I was like, if I were a wine merchant, I would have this in my store, and I would murder somebody to get it into my store.
If you hear me screaming bloody murder, there's a good chance I'm just enjoying myself.
So, yeah, they do 25,000 bottles per year, which is roughly about 2,100 cases. So it's a small production,
That's very small.
because you have to have, what, 10,000 to import? 10,000 cases to
It
import?
depends, and I think that's why this winery specializes in small vineyards. It's even
yeah.
on the label. They have their own sticker, their proprietary sticker called Small Vineyards, and that's exactly it. A lot of these smaller wineries at the small production, the 2,100 cases, they don't get picked up by big importers, and because they want to fill a container full of wine.
Right.
You know, it's like, why would I buy a couple
there's a
thousand
cost
cases
basis
from
too,
you and not 10,000 or 20,000 from someone else? Because that's just easier. It's one phone call.
Yeah.
You get 20,000 cases. You put it on a container. You ship it to the U.S. or wherever. But we're a sucker for Italian wines, gotta say.
Yeah.
A lot of Italian wines find themselves on U.S. Store shelves. And so if you're a small producer, a lot of the big people, because it's a bunch of phone calls. Imagine all the phone calls. Hey, we're a wine importer. You got to call like 20 producers just to fill your container.
Just as a quick aside, really, you brought up an interesting point. It's like you do see Italian wines more often on grocery store shelves than you do French wines.
Si, senor. Si,
Oh, that's very
signore.
interesting.
Si, signore.
Yeah. So, first impressions,
I'm
it
all
was good as
swirly.
last time. No
It's not
swirl.
pretentious to swirl. It's just it
Helps you smell it.
It helps you smell it. Yeah. So what actually happens is the aromas in the wine or the wine particles get mixed in with air particles, and it releases the aromas from the glass. It's fine just to have the glass and not swirl it. It's fine to swirl it, you clockwise, counterclockwise, whatever.
Yeah.
It's no big deal either way. Just keep the pinky down.
Now, what causes
Just
the
keep the
legs
pinky
on this? It's the tannins in it?
Well, okay, so legs. Will, you're talking about legs. It's kind of the way the wine runs down the side of the glass.
Yeah.
After you swirl it or take a sip, it kind of has these drops or raindrops or legs. They've been nicknamed tears. Some people call them tears. I've even
Tears
heard
of Dionysus.
the tears of Dionysus.
I love it. Yes.
May he live forever. It's usually an indication of alcohol percentage. Alcohol has got a nice viscosity to it, and it's also related to the body of the wine. So if you have a higher alcohol wine, and what do I mean by higher? Well, a lot of European wines traditionally are 12.5% alcohol to 13.5% alcohol, and that's just kind of where the Europeans usually range.
I think this one's a 14, actually.
It looks like it's got nice thick legs.
Now, I don't know if you're geeky enough to know that, and I obviously am not, but what the final specific gravity of something like this would be. Now, to a brewer, that would make a lot of sense. Brewers always talk about specific gravity because that's how they measure alcohol in their finished beers.
Whoa. Any guesses?
No.
14.5.
Oh, as far as percentage?
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew. Yeah, that I knew.
Whoa. Okay,
Yeah.
that I did not know.
Yeah, and usually it's interesting because higher alcohol wines to me usually taste sweeter. That doesn't as much.
No.
You know, it's more well balanced.
And so you said something about tannins. That's that bitter, puckery,
Yeah.
the little grippy grittiness that you feel, like almost like sandpaper on your tongue. That's known as tannins. The alcohol and the tannins create the body of the wine, and they're in balance, I think. It has a little grippy, has a little, what I say higher alcohol, because I just talked about 12.5 to 13.5. This is 14.5. Wow, it's balanced though. It doesn't feel overwhelmingly.
Now,
It's not blasting me.
what's really pertinent for me though, as the barbell cooking side of it, thinking with that hat on, this goes well with meat, bison, beef. I'm sure you could do some kind of a chicken dish with this. We're going to do duck later. And that to me, so like when my macros allow and I want to have a glass of wine or two, that pairs perfectly. I could see that going with pizza and pasta as well.
It's very versatile, and it's
That would be damn
every
good.
day or every
Yeah.
man's sort of grape is its versatility.
If you handed me a bolognese with that, boy, that would be dangerous.
Oh.
I'd blow my diet out of
A
the water.
bolognese. Tell me what you'd put. What kind of meat would you use? Would
Well,
you
I
use some
mean,
bison or any of
Well,
those?
for me, I would use bison. Yeah.
So low fat?
Yeah, I primarily.
protein?
It's high protein. It's lower fat. It's lower saturated fat. The problem with bison is it tends to be a bit drier than beef because it is lower in fat. But in some ways, I feel like bison tastes more like beef than beef does, or beef should, I would say. and that's my protein of choice for my day-to-day, after I get done lifting and I want to load up, I want to have my 1/3 pound or however many ounces, bison and chicken and pork.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, mostly bison.
So it'd be a bison-based
Yes.
bolognese.
Yes. And then I would probably put a little bit of cream in it to make up for the lack of the dryness of the bison, because it's lower in saturated fat, or a little bit more olive oil, which would be fine. But quite honestly,
That's what I was thinking.
a little bit of cream never hurt anybody. So
No. I'm gonna suck it in.
yeah,
Yeah, cream. I use whole cream in my coffee. I learned that from a friend of mine.
I don't. I just actually like whole milk. I get milk from this dairy outfit that's up north in Chihuahua. They're called Columbia Valley Creamery, or just Columbia Creamery. And they're Jersey cow milk, so it's a little bit fattier, but it's really good. The cream to me is just, I don't know, it just tastes muted.
Yeah.
So, but where I really like cream though is, like, say, I don't know, finished on a pasta dish or in eggs. Like if you scramble some eggs, you put a little bit of cream in them. Oh, it's wonderful.
Seriously, I haven't tried that.
Yeah, it's wonderful. About a tablespoonful of 2 eggs.
I'm out.
Yeah, well,
Gonna get a hit. Did you have a preference between the bicchiere, the little Italian glass, versus the?
Well, if we're talking lack of pretension and day-to-day, because
This is fun, huh?
I don't know if I'd ever describe a glass as fun. I don't know. I like this glass better because, one, it's lack of pretension, get it on the table faster, it's easier to clean.
Yeah,
If I'm having a more formal occasion, like if I've got friends coming over, I might break out these, unless the friends I'm inviting are a bunch of raging alcoholics, in which case I'll keep it with this because it's less likely they'll destroy it. So it depends on how rowdy they get.
Yeah, it's good out of either.
Yeah.
To me, the wine's showing really nice out of both the traditional shaped style glass and the balloon glass, or the wine glass with a stem. Yeah, this is definitely zero pretension factor here. Zero.
Yeah.
-0. -10. -10 pretension. You apply your own pretension here.
I heard the tone change, that Doppler effect as you move the liquid around, and that was really cool.
That's good. I mean, hey, either,
So let's shift gears
Win in
for a
Rome.
second.
Win in Rome.
I will make the statement that if you are a millennial or a Gen Zer and you're thinking about getting into this would be a good option. You're guaranteed to like it. And yes, the price point's going to be a bit high. That's one thing I've noticed about the younger generation, when they're very price conscious because the economy for them really sucks. And they have to be a little bit more price conscious on their purchases. And that's why I think, or recommend to them honestly, that European wines are a better value for them than American wines are, because they are oftentimes of equal or better quality and they're cheaper. Strictly because most European outfits don't have to pay a mortgage on the land that they're farming on. A lot of American outfits do. And so that's the reason. Like what last time I looked, a half acre or an acre of land, farmland in Napa Valley, was going for more than $500,000 just for an acre. So it's no wonder that a lot of these wines are priced $20, $30, $40, $50 a bottle, because that's the only way they can make money. And you've got some really rich assholes in the U.S. that'll pay for it. My German friends, because I was in the military for a long time, lived in Germany a long time, and my friends will scoff at the idea of paying more than 10 euros for a bottle of wine. They just think it's absolutely criminal.
Where's the euro right now? Is almost 1-to-1, or
it's slightly more than ours.
It's close, right?
It's slightly more than ours. Yeah. So they're accustomed to paying $5-6 a bottle for a really good quality wine, table wine every day, and that is hard to find here unless you go to European imports.
Right.
And so if you're a younger person and you're thinking about getting into wine, I would highly recommend that you look at European imports, particularly Italian reds.
So you said the last time I spent a bunch of money on wine.
Yeah, I did, but I forgot what the I was talking about.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Liquid truth. Liquid brain eraser.
Yeah, exactly.
It's delicious.
It's wonderful.
So something I wanted to comment about was, you and I opened the wine on camera. We took a few sips. We talked about the different of the glasses, right? Blah, blah, blah. I think the wine's tasting better than when it was first opened. What do
I
you
would
think about
agree.
that?
Hold on, let me take another taste.
Yeah. Second and third opinion. God dang.
The acid's hitting a bit better.
The acid. Okay.
It's a little more direct. I think the sugars are coming through just a tad more. But yeah, and it's, you know what this reminds me of too is like, if you're a beer drinker, like you get a glass of beer, a pint or whatever, and if it's something you haven't had before, you take your first pull off of it and you're like, it's
What?
okay. Yeah, maybe it's not great, but you know enough not to condemn it until you've taken about 2 or 3 at least off of it. Because you get about your third pull in on a beer and you're like, okay, yeah, I can get behind this.
Okay, so you're
Or
talking
at that
about-
point, if you know it sucks, it really, really sucks, and you're just like, you still drink it because
Sure.
you order a beer, you drink the damn beer.
You're drinking the damn beer, yeah.
Exactly.
Hell yeah, you are.
Yeah, that's
And you usually are cool about it too. You're just like, it's not,
yeah. It's like it sucks, but
yeah,
I'm still gonna drink because it's a beer.
yeah. It's going down the hatch.
Exactly.
I bought the thing. Or I ordered it and I'm gonna have to pay for it. So yeah, I'm drinking the damn
I can bleep all these out too. So like
that's
because I plan on doing that because I'll be like that. I'll put that in there. Anyway. So
okay, so we asked, I was asking, do you think it's better? Well, which is funny because these are all the opinion questions.
Yeah.
Like your version of better is different than my version of better. If I just boil away all the pretension, it's just it's a little smoother. I think that's one way where you said the acids are different and the sugars are different, like things are hitting you differently. That's something with wine that's different than beer. You don't necessarily let a beer get air. You don't swirl beer. You don't want to ever swirl beer because I'll laugh at you. You swirl your beer and I'm in the room.
No, I was thinking.
I'm going to laugh at you. I'm sorry.
Okay, you can laugh. That's fine. I just my ego.
Actually, I'm not sorry.
My ego is not in the equation.
But a wine changes with air and time. And so
It does.
as we're sitting
It does.
here, the air molecules are connecting with the wine molecules and the wine molecules are changing. They're just starting to express themselves differently.
Well, there were 2 things going on in my mind when
fruity.
you asked that question. One, specifically when it comes to beer, like you get tired after a while, especially if it's a really heavy beer, But the thing is that you don't drink wine typically the same way you drink beer.
Sure.
Now, it's rare for me to open a bottle of wine and just drink it for its own sake.
Okay. What does that mean? Just you
To just drink wine.
will
Yeah.
bottle of wine
or
drinking.
or I'm drinking amongst friends or something like that socially. Usually when I'm drinking a glass of wine or sharing a bottle with somebody, it's because I'm making a certain meal or I'm going to eat something.
So it's wine and food for Will.
It's wine and food
Wine
for
and
Will.
food.
So
It's that way for me too.
Yeah, exactly. Now beer, you can drink
Definitely.
for its own sake.
Oh gosh, yeah. I'm
yeah.
having a beer at probably when we get done shooting this video.
Well,
I mean, come on.
and this is Monday.
I'm Irish.
Okay, great.
I'm Irish Italian.
Yeah, I'm German, so like I had to like.
We need it. Here, cheers on that shit.
Cheers on that. Yeah, there we go.
We're old world.
Yeah,
That's a lot of fun.
yeah.
To me, this is, the anti-pretension. It's beautiful. It's super fun.
I would highly recommend getting some of these glasses, especially if you're a young person, because they're cheap.
Oh.
I mean, if you really want to show off and you want to show your knowledge,
You gotta have these though, man.
but they're a bitch to clean. That's the one thing I hate about them.
Do you notice I said you gotta have them? I didn't say you should.
Yeah, that's true.
Same thing, semantics, a word switch, but a lot of wines it's a visual thing. Beer is now too. Craft
Yeah.
beer is a visual
Yeah.
thing. I'm having a beer after this episode. But what's nice about the wine is it's a non-pretentious wine. It came from Italy. It was put in a bottle by Mr. Marchetti, Dr. Marchetti.
Yeah.
He's a doctor of...
I did some reading about him and research for this.
He's a great human being.
Yeah.
Obviously has some money to experiment in the vineyard, but he doesn't charge a lot for his wine. He doesn't. It gets imported from Italy. It goes all the way from the Adriatic on a boat all the way to Jersey and then shipped over on a truck.
And we're the beneficiary of it.
Here it is. It's in our glass in Washington State.
So
But
we would recommend this for if you're a young person starting out and you want to know more about wine and you want to experience it. this is a good one if you can lay your hands on it.
Definitely.
And for someone that is not in Spokane, Washington, let's say they're in the Midwest somewhere, or they're
Midwest,
back
okay.
east, where would they look?
Gosh, you know where I would go is August Wine Imports, and go on to augustwineimports.com. I think that's their site. That's the parent company of Small Vineyards, which is the direct importer of this wine. And on their website, they would guide you
Where they
Yeah.
distribute. Yeah.
So I live in
okay.
the Midwest. I'm interested in drinking your wine. You know, if you go to info at or whatever their website or whatever their email address is, I would ask them, and they'll tell you that
Okay.
they're just a great company that cares about small vineyard folks, small vintners. But this has been
cool.
fun.
Yeah.
Have we
this-
covered all the bases?
You know, for what I wanted to talk about, yes. I wanted to experience this again to see if it was as good as the first time I tried it, and I can confidently say yes. It's quite nice, and once this is more widely available. One quick note, though, that I think, and you can confirm this, I believe that this label is the Italian label, and that it might change when they start to sell it here commercially on a regular basis. True?
False.
Oh, good.
And the reason I know that is because the U.S. imports have that gold sticker.
Okay, so so this is what we're settled on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
Okay,
it.
so
This is the label.
look at the B-roll. It'll show you the bottle close up. I'll even include a photo of it somewhere in here. And yeah, we highly recommend it. I don't know what it's going to retail for, but you know, keep a couple bottles in your basement and pull them out when you got friends. They'll be impressed.
Yeah.
So, and get these little glasses.
Do it. Click in the comments if you have more questions, which I do.
Yeah.
I already have more questions. Like,
Yeah.
what is this wine? What does it have siblings? Is there more from Marchetti that I should be exploring?
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah. So if you want to click in the link or the comments below, check it out.
Yeah. And now we're going to save the rest of this bottle and we're going to go cook some duck.
Let's go.
Right on.
Thanks, Will.
Yeah.